Um, every year on the playa, it's awesome, and every year people say, "Oh, I hear it's all commercial now," or "I hear it used to be so much better." And it's like usually those people that have not been. So this will be my 14th year. Here are some things that I've noticed in the changes over time, and some things that I think that we're experiencing now, and will experience very soon. The big changes for me are that I've noticed are much more police presence and much more awareness about it, because it used to be so underground. You had to know somebody who knows somebody. Internet makes it so that, if you know friend of a friend of a friend, most of my mom's friends know about Burning Man. When I went to the church last night, most people there knew about Burning Man. And so that's good and bad. Good because I think that so many things that happen there can be magical. Bad because usually by the time it gets distributed down, the awareness of Burning Man is about craziness. It's like a rave in the desert with crazy costumes and nakedness and people partying. And that's a shame, because that's simply a symptom of what's really happening, which is freedom and expression and love and a shattering of status quo ideals. Because they have the 10 principles and have held tight to them, such as the no commercial, such as no logos, that makes such a huge difference you would not believe, because it takes away the motivating factor that corrupts so much art. So much of things, when anything pokes out of the crust, some sort of creative expression, there are so many hungry marketing corporate people that are like, how can we exploit that? How can we exploit that? Someone was asking about Lady Gaga earlier. Well, there's skateboarding is another example. Everything that's cool gets co-opted and marketed because there is motivation. There is a reason for somebody to go, I can make money on that. I can twist that. I can market that to more people, make a little bit of cash as I'm doing it. Now, that doesn't mean they're an evil person. And in fact, along the way, a lot of artists or athletes or whatever could get paid. That's great. Unfortunately, the process of that happening can kill the original expression. I mean, you see that in music movements all the time, and you see that in all sorts of arts and film. When you dig deep into like cinema and the desire of an artist to create a film, and then once they become part of the Hollywood system, when it's a business, then it's an entirely different process of making a movie. There's a reason why they call it the show business. So Burning Man, because it has built into it some of this, it's got rules. You can't make money off it in these ways. So let's say you're Coke or you're Pepsi, you're Lady Gaga, whatever. There's some way that you like, oh, how can we take this cool and leverage it to boost our brand, to make us cool, to make, and it's like the principles of Burning Man have kind of robbed the tools of the marketer. You can't use your logos there. You can't use their imagery in the default world. And the whole system there is built on a gift. So if you're an artist and you want to go perform for people, well, bravo. But that doesn't corrupt the event. That actually helps the artists to get in tune with what their gifts are and what they're doing. Our camp has had in some ways, a corporate sponsorship, I guess. Coconut Bliss, the last couple years, has donated huge amounts of vegan, animal cruelty-free ice cream that they give to us and say, we don't need anything back. We don't want any branding. We don't need any, our ROI is not part of the equation. We are giving this to you as a gift because we believe in what Burning Man is about, and it makes us feel good to contribute. That is not the way the corporate structure and the marketing system that kills industries and kills art and kills creativity doesn't think that way. So, as of now, while it is certainly more popular, while it is certainly more known, up till now, it has been every bit as beautiful and magical and contained the same degree of artistic magnificence and the same amount of heart-opening people and experiences that I saw in my first year. Maybe more so. Because when Burning Man was younger, it was, I think, a little bit more focused towards fire and explosions. And where now there's a much stronger sense of community and of love and of gifting and sharing. Gifting was not a part of the original Burning Man. Originally there was not the 10 principles. Those became a part of the culture as it grew. Thank goodness, because they recognize, kind of like the founding fathers of the United States, they're like, this is going to be a problem as we grow. We need to build some stuff into our documents, into our principles that protect the vibe. So, as of now, when people say, I hear it's all sold out, I'm like, well, that sounds like somebody who hasn't been. With the one exception of there being a lot more police, and so, you can't run around and have sex while shooting up. You've got to be smart about those kind of things. Which I don't recommend that anyways. It's hard to focus on both at the same time. That being said, I have some concerns as we grow. Because when Burning Man was growing as a word-of-mouth thing, and it kind of takes that word of mouth to make someone understand what is required. You can't just decide to go to Burning Man on a whim. So when you go and you make all the effort, you kind of have to talk to people who've been. You kind of have to learn. You kind of have to interact with veterans. And the process of interacting with veterans means that you learn about Leave No Trace. You learn about gifting. You learn about the principles that make it magic. So, when you get so well known that a friend of a friend of a friend went on Facebook, and you can kind of glance at the survival guide and look at a map and go, it would be, you're losing the kind of hand-holding that used to happen when you would go to the event, where you had somebody, a veteran, who would kind of escort you and teach you and bring you in. The numbers are growing so fast now that it's easy to be a good intentioned person and just not have the same kind of education. And that was one of the things that I was noticing at Lightning in a Bottle. There was a lot of young people. It was their first experience at the festival, did not know anything about Leave No Trace, did not know anything about these kind of principles that take an event from a party to a conscious evolutionary expression of self and community. But without understanding the principles, without putting the energy into that, it just was another party. And the consequences of that could be dire. So I think this year will be telling. I think they've heard that they might cap tickets. I've heard that the growth has been like, and the ticket sales have been like nothing they've ever seen. So it's one of the reasons why I try to be as vocal about things as possible. I try to share what I think is the magic and the importance of the principles, and try to refocus on what this is, not just the pageantry and the fire and but the magic, and having a respect for that, which, huge props to the organization for adhering to the principles and not taking a sponsorship, they are very value driven, and it has kept the integrity. I think that growth doesn't necessarily have to be bad, but growth unchecked can be cancerous. So time will tell, but as of now, we are a healthy, thriving beast. And expression, art, beauty, love, and evolution is built into the rite of passage of this week. I cannot wait for it. And if it is your first time, well, I hope you spend some time on the Burning Man website, as well as on my tips and tricks videos on lustmonkey.com or on the Burning Man blog. And just kind of open yourself up to be aware that this is more than a party. There is a reason why this changes people's lives. And open to that. Be open to that in yourself. Let go of what you think you know. Let go of get a little beginner's mind, and then sprinkle some dust in it, and I think you will be blown away with the results.